Welcome to Excel and Business Math video number 11. Hey, in this video, we got to talk about fractions, types of fractions, and fraction number formatting. Here are our topics. We get to see all these different types of fractions and how to use custom number formatting to display the fraction exactly how we want. Now, the files for this video are below the video, but I do want to go look at our class website. Here it is, and we're going to go to fractions, decimals, and percentages. Click, and at the top, this is a handwritten set of PDF notes about fractions that will cover all of our videos for this topic. These are the two specific files for this one video, video number 11. So you want to download those and open them. Now, actually, we want to start over in our PDF notes. Here it is, fractions. As we talked about last video, fractions are really division. This fraction right here, exactly the same as doing division. Top part of the fraction, numerator or dividend. Bottom part, denominator divisor. And when we do our division, we get the decimal or whatever the answer is. It's an answer or the quotient. If it happens to have a decimal, then we call it a decimal. Now, types of fractions. Proper fraction. This is a fraction that knows its manners. No. Proper fraction means the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Improper fraction. Of course, that's a fraction that doesn't know its manners. No. That's when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. A mixed number. We usually express it like this, 1.5 gallons. But really, when we see 1.5 gallon, it implies addition. There's a whole number and then some fractional part. Like fractions. These are the ones that go to Facebook and click like all the time. No. These are fractions where the denominator is the same in both, or however many you have. Unlike fractions. These are fractions that do not like each other. No. It just means the denominator is different. Now, like fractions and unlike fractions, we'll have to study those about 4 videos ahead when we learn how to add fractions. Like fractions, super easy to add. Unlike fractions, more complicated to add. Now let's scroll down. Oftentimes, we want to think of fractions as parts of the whole. Fractions represent parts of the whole or total. You can think of pizza, right? You had 2 of the pieces. Well, there's 2 parts of a total of 6, so we can express it like this. 2 pieces of pizza divided by 6 total pieces of pizza. And here would be the fraction, 2 over 6. Now, next video, we'll learn exactly how to reduce fractions. We'll list all the primes and then reduce them. But we had 2 out of 6, or 1/3 of the total pizza. Oh, football. Can we have parts and whole in football? You betcha. Football game total time, 60 minutes. That's the whole. Number of minutes completed so far, 45 minutes. That's the part. So when we divide, again, we'll learn this next video, we know that 3/4 of the total game is already completed. How about student scores? Here's the 4 tests. Maximum points. There's the total. Your score on each, you got 350. That's the part. This is the whole or total. We can show your grade as a fraction. 350 divided by 400. That is your grade, shown as a fraction. If we reduced it, which we'll do next video, we'd get 7/8. If we did, like we did last video, the actual division to get the decimal, there it is, 0.875. And as we saw last video, we could slide the decimal, and then your score would be 87.5%. And when we talk about reducing next video, you will then be able to say, hey, you got 7 points out of every 8 possible points. All right, now I want to jump over to our Excel workbook. Let's go over to the sheet parts of the whole. Hey, look, there's a pizza. Wow, you ate 4 pieces. Slices you ate, total slices. Well, we can create a fraction in Excel. Equal sign, up arrow, up arrow. The numerator is going to be how many pieces you ate divided by up arrow. That's the total number. But when we Control Enter to put the formula in the cell and keep the cell selected, Excel with the general number format is always going to show decimals. Now, last video, we talked a little bit about fractional number formatting. We want to talk a lot more about it this video. So I want to display this actually as 4/8. So now I'm going to go up. Oh, you know what? There's only one of the many possible fraction number formattings from the dropdown. So when we're doing fractional number formatting, we almost always want to Control 1. This opens up the Format Cells dialog box. Number tab, category. We want to click on fraction. Now, some of the time, we will find an option here that suits our goal. Notice down here it says in eighths. I'm going to click that. This time, we found something in our list. 3 examples ahead in this video, we'll see what to do if you don't find the proper fraction number formatting in this list. But there it is. We can show it as 4/8. Click OK. Now, let's do this formula again. Equals your 4 pieces divided by the total. Control Enter. Control 1. Let's go down to fraction, because this is what a lot of people do. They pick one of the first 3, up to 1 digit, up to 2 digits, up to 3 digits. But notice when I click this and look at the sample, look what it's doing. If you pick one of the built-in options, it will reduce for you. Now, next video, we'll talk about reducing fractions, and we'll talk about how number formatting can get you into trouble if you're using the reduced version without knowing exactly what you want. I'm going to click OK and leave that here. Sometimes that's exactly what you want. And in this example, it is displaying the proper reduced fraction. Again, next video, we'll talk about what to do if it doesn't display. All right, let's go over, because we got to talk about an important topic called a fraction formula. So this is our example 2, when to hard code the numerator and denominator into a formula. Now, back here, what do? Neither one of these formulas we did, either the first one or the second one, we didn't type those numbers in because we know Excel's golden rule. It says if these can possibly change, then put them in a cell and refer to them with cell references. In fact, up here, if I type 2, enter, that's beautiful. Control Z, because these are formula inputs and they can possibly change, we refer to them in our formula with cell references. Now let's look at an example where we don't want to do that. Here's our example. You are removing a wheel from a bicycle with a 9/16" socket wrench. You want to note, oh, this says not. You want to knot this in Excel. No, you really want to note this in Excel. Size of the wrench. Well, I really don't know what the decimal is or the number. So here's what you do. You actually equals 9 divided by 16. Now, we're hard coding some numbers in here, but this whole thing is a single number. And because some of the fractions like 13/14 or 9/16, you might not know what those are as a decimal. So this is what we do. We simply type our fraction as a formula. Control Enter. Oh, so 9/16 is 0.5625. Well, now we can format it. Control 1. I'm going to look through fraction, see if I can find something. You can scroll down a bit. And sure enough, there's 16ths. Click OK. So F2, when it's an actual number and the numerator and denominator are not numbers that can possibly change, like our pizza example, then go ahead and type them into our formula. All right, now let's go to the next sheet, types of fractions. We want to learn about custom fraction number formatting to display the fraction the way you want. Now, here's the steps we're going to do. There's also a picture of this over in the PDF notes for this video. Now, proper fraction, improper fraction, mixed number, like fractions, and unlike. We want to see a couple examples of each. Now, 1.5, I could type 0.5 because I think all of us know that 1/2 is equal to 0.5. But I'm going to be consistent through all these examples here. These are fractions that need to go into the cell, and they're a single number. So I'm going to use equals 1 divided by 2. Control-Enter. Now, Control-1. We want to learn about the number tab, category. We've seen things like general, currency, accounting, percentage, and fraction. But now we want to look at custom. Custom allows you, if you know the code, to come up to the type text box and type out whatever custom number formatting you want. Now, it always shows general if you have general applied, so you highlight that. And you could see over here there's some notes, and these are over in the PDF notes. But let's just watch what happens to our sample. If I type a pound symbol, pound symbols will give us the integers. That's not what we want here because it is displaying that 0.5 as a 1. We don't want that. We actually want to display it as a fraction. Guess what? We use question mark / question mark when we want to display a fraction. Now, the number of question marks in the numerator and denominator determine how many digits will show up in the numerator and denominator. For us, we have a single digit in both the numerator and denominator. So that's what you do. Question mark / question mark. Click OK. That's pretty cool. Now let's try 9/16 equals 9 divided by 16. Control-Enter. Now we have a single digit in the numerator and 2 in the denominator. So that would be question mark / question. And that will work. Control-1, number tab, custom. That's our category. Come over to the type text box, highlight general, and we watch our sample. Question mark / question mark. That is totally cool. Click OK. Now let's do an improper fraction. Equals 14 divided by 13. Notice if I even tried to type that decimal, I have no idea what that is. All right, so Control-Enter. Wow, that's a crazy decimal there, but no problem. Control-1, custom. In the type, I need 2 in the top and 2 in the bottom. Question / question. That is beautiful. Click OK. Now, how about this? 2/1, that's an improper fraction. We don't even have to type a formula. We just type the number 2, Control-Enter, Control-1, custom. And in the type, we type question mark / question mark. And look at that. It displays the 1. Click OK. Now, a mixed number. That means there's an integer and a fraction. The integer will be a pound sign, and then a space, and then question mark / question mark. Again, pound means the integer or the whole number. Question mark is a digit in the numerator or denominator. We will continue our convention. Equals 1 plus 1 divided by 2. Whoops, 2. That's how we do it when we have a mixed number. Again, this looks scary, like it's violating Excel's golden rule. But if this is really something like 1.5 gallons, instead of typing it out and guessing what the decimals might be, we can create our fractional formula, hard coding the numbers. Control-Enter. Well, this one we could have guessed 1.5, but Control-1. Now we go down to custom, highlight general, pound. Gives us the integer part, space, question mark / question mark. And there it is, just how we want it. Click OK. Now let's do this one. Equals 1 plus 1 divided by 13. Control-Enter. Again, I would never be able to type that number out into Excel unless I did something like that. Control-Enter, Control-1. And it looks like we need pound, question mark / question. Custom. Over to type. Pound, space, question / question. And there it is. Click OK. Mixed numbers, no problem. We can display them in Excel. Like fractions. Now, both of these are going to have the same custom number formatting. So equals 1 divided by 2, enter. Equals 3 divided by 2. Oh, they like each other, and this is a proper fraction, and this is an improper fraction. But in terms of custom number formatting, highlight the cells. Control 1, custom. In the type, question/question, click OK. And there we have displayed like fractions. Oh, this is the same situation. We can equals 1 divided by 2, enter. Actually, let's do this. Sometimes, like with 1/2 and 1/4, you might know the decimal. So it's perfectly all right if you're sure, type it in, 0.5, 0.25, enter. Now we can highlight these, and even though we entered them as decimals, no problem. Control 1, down to custom, type, question mark for both of them, click OK. And so we've seen here how to use custom number formatting to display these fractions just how we want. Now we've got to talk about another important thing, or actually a side note. This is a common mistake. If your goal is not to have a number like up here, but like type a label because you want off to the side to show a half, watch what happens when you type 1 divided by 2. Now, dates in Excel use slashes. So Excel is programmed, if you type 1, 2, to put January 2nd for the current year. So when I Control Enter, it actually puts it in as 2-Jan. If you look up to the formula bar, 1/2/2018. So that's a common mistake when someone wants to enter a fraction. Now, there's two ways that we can display a fraction. As we saw before, equals 1 divided by 2, or we could have typed 0.5. Control 1, custom, and then type question mark. Click OK. The other way is 1 divided by 2. We already know if I enter that, it'll be a date. But anything that has a lead apostrophe will automatically be text. So if you want to enter something in exactly as you've typed it, put a lead apostrophe. Control Enter. And of course, as we studied earlier in the class, default alignment right, we know that's a number. Default alignment left, we know it's text. All right, now one last example. Let's go over to student scores. Here's the total possible points. Here's your points. Now here's a cool trick. We can highlight both cells and use our keyboard for the sum function, Alt equals. Now I always get a little bit nervous because it didn't give me that intermediate step for me to check. So I usually hit F2 to verify that it actually got the right cells. And it did. I'm going to hit Enter. 400 possible points. You got 350. Now let's calculate your score and display it as a fractional score. Equals up arrow, divided by up, left. All right, ready? Control Enter. Oh, that's the decimal. Let's try it. Control 1, come down to fraction. And I want to choose this one, up to 3 digits. Uh-oh, we already see trouble here. Click OK. Yes, indeed, fractional number formatting is programmed to reduce. And again, next video, we'll see this exact example, and we'll see how to reduce it to verify that it actually is 7/8. But I want to show you a trick here. And let's go back. I'm going to use my scroll arrows to expose the first sheet parts of the whole. Now, up here, when we used one of the built-in fractional number formatting, it did show an 8. Down here, it reduced. But let's go look. Control 1. Remember, we actually picked something from this list. But we're allowed to go and look how that format was made. We selected it. So now let's go look at custom. And look at that. It has a pound, but it's question mark slash, and you're allowed to type whatever the denominator should be into the formula. Now, this does hard code it in. So in this case, you would have to make sure that your pizza always had 8 slices. I'm going to click OK. We're going to use that idea, and I'm going to scroll over. Student scores. Select the cell, Control 1, go down to Custom. And sure enough, you can see that. But I'm totally going to change it. I'm going to type question, 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 slash, and then 400. And that's how we can do it. Now, we are definitely hard coding a 400 in here, which could be dangerous if we change these. So you only use a custom number format like this when you're not going to change this. I'm going to click OK. But that's how we can do it. And that's a perfect segue because next video we'll use this example and others to learn how to reduce fractions. Now there's 2 homework problems for you to do. And in this video we saw how to look at parts compared to the whole and display them as a fraction. Back on our types of fractions, we very importantly saw proper, improper, mixed, like, and unlike fractions and saw how to use custom fractional number formatting to display them just how we want. We also importantly talked about if we have an actual number that is a fraction to put in a cell, we can type it into our formula like that. And we started off by talking about pizza. All right, if you like that video, be sure to click that thumbs up, leave a comment, and sub, because there's always lots more videos to come from Excel is Fun, including next video number 12. We'll talk about reducing fractions. All right, we'll see you next video.